Welcome back to Punk Uncle's Garage. Today we're working on some wheels. Now this is part 3 of my series of videos building my evil following, but this is going to be a great video for anyone who's putting a new set of wheels together or just trying to swap parts out on an existing wheel set, maybe convert from tubes to tubeless, any of that kind of stuff. We'll cover that and how to do that in this video. So if you're ready to get rolling with me, hit that subscribe button, stick around, we're going to go through it all right now. Before we get started actually doing the work, I want to show you guys what we've got here to work with, to start with. So first, biggest, most important piece of this obviously is the wheel set. Now this is one of the parts of this bike build that I am the most stoked about. I got Project 321 is a supporter of me and my channel now. So they have, I had them build me a custom wheel set here. So what I went with was the Ibis S35 carbon wheel, the rim, which is a 35mm internal diameter, and that's exactly what I've been riding on my Ripmo AF for the better part of a year now. I've had great luck with these wheels, super strong, durable, they stay true, I've had no issues, so it was kind of a no-brainer for me to just go right to the same wheel. The cool part of this build though is that I've got the Project 321 hubs. These hubs are amazing. They've been in business for a long time. It's a small boutique builder out of Bend, Oregon, and I've actually known Jake, the owner, for over 15 years. Great guy, great company. They build a really cool hub, and the anodizing, the colors are really good custom. So I went with their pink ano on the hubs. We've got CX-ray spokes, and then I've got this kind of turquoise blue on the spoke nipples. In addition to the hubs, obviously we need brake rotors. So what I chose to go with on this build is the Shimano Ice-Tech rotor, 6-bolt pattern. These are basically the XT rotor. I'm going to run XT brakes on this bike, so it just makes sense, but this is a good, tried and true, old reliable rotor. And with rotors, man, it's really better, I think, to spend a little bit more money, get something that's going to hold up, not going to work quite so easily under heat, especially if you're riding steep gravity, enduro, downhill, that kind of stuff where you're using your brakes a lot and getting them heated up. It's really good to have a solid rotor on the bike. We've got valves, obviously, and I've got rim tape and electrical tape. So the first thing I'm going to do is install the rim tape. And this is something I've never done before. As I mentioned when we started this series, I can put a bike together for the most part. I've been doing it for a long time, but there are things involved in the assembly of a bike that I've never done before. And one of my goals in this project was to learn how to do some of the stuff that I don't know. I mean, I really want to learn everything so that I can do everything for myself and be fully self-sufficient as a bike mechanic. That's not going to happen overnight. So I'm chipping away at that just by jumping in, getting my hands dirty, and doing things that I've never done before. So just like you're doing now probably, I watch videos to learn how to do some of the stuff that I don't know how to do. So we're going to go ahead and put the rim tape on, and then depending on how that goes, if it seats, you know, and lays down really nicely sealed, we might just leave it at that. But if it's kind of bubbly and ripply, then I'm probably going to throw a layer of electrical tape over the top of that as well. I'm going to go ahead and start with the front wheel. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my rim tape. Now, the research that I did said that you should start opposite the hole for the valve stem. So that's here. So I'm going to go ahead and start my tape opposite that. We're going to tape all the way around the rim and then overlap by about 3 inches. This is WTB 40mm wide tape that I ordered from Amazon. I ordered 40 because the internal width is 35 and you want this to fully seal, so they recommend 40mm for 35 internal width. It definitely covers the entire lip on the inside. So much so that I'm going to have to be really careful and pay attention to keeping this centered because I don't want tape sticking out. Once I put tires on, obviously. Like anything you're doing for the first time, don't be afraid to just kind of play around with technique. Just because you start doing it one way doesn't mean you can't try other things. I'm just like changing the angle here that I'm using. See if I can get a little more accurate. If you've got a truing stand, this is going to be way easier for you than it is for me right now, I think. This tape that I got, there's just no margin for error on the centering of it because it is like, if I get it in there just right, it goes from edge to edge completely. So just the slightest off center and it's popping out the sides. Not cool. I mean, hopefully I'll get really good sealing because of this, but right now I just want it to get out of the way. I'm just going to go through and push into the inside edge there to just pull the tape down off the top of the rim as well as I can. Just try to make sure I don't have any sticking up over the outside of the rim at all. Hey Georgia. Old dogs wandering into the videos. Yeah, so I think I'll go ahead and just put some electrical tape on there real quick. Just an extra layer, and I don't want to, you know, get sealant and try to put the tires on and have it leak. So I'd rather go the overkill route if I'm choosing, and it's going to add a couple grams to the bike, but I'm not worried about that. I'd much rather not have a flat and not have my tires leaking on me. Now that the tape is on all the way around the wheel, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to poke a hole through the valve stem hole in the rim up through the tape so that we can go ahead and put the stem in. It's probably a better, there we go, boom. Hey. I think we're pretty well set. So I'll go ahead and tape the other one up. I don't think we need to film that again because that was painful enough as it was. So before we go do the tires, I'm going to go ahead and put the rotors on. So this is my front wheel. So I'm going to put the front rotor out. I'm running 203 in the front and 180 in the back. So we're going to go ahead and lay this, line it up with the mounting holes on the hub. And then these Shimano rotors have these tightening plates that you want to position. There's a little tab on there, and it's going to be impossible to show you this in the video, but there's a little tab that sticks up, and you want that part sticking up to be facing up, and then the bolts are going to go tighten down against those. Place these, get them started. These bolts are T25s, so it's a Torx, pretty common Torx head size that you'll find on a lot of bike components. If it's not Allen, it's probably going to be Torx, and if it's Torx, it's probably going to be T25. Okay. Got my little torque wrench. Shimano specs are 2 to 4 Newton meters. 2 to 4 Newton meters is the torque spec on these. So I'm going to go ahead and I don't know if it's super important, but I'm going to go kind of offset when I tighten, just like you would when you put lug nuts on a car. I will snug them first, and then I'll go back and torque them after that. Okay. So you can see everything nice and flush there. So I'm just going to go back and torque them. Boom. Now this wheel's ready to go get its tire and sealant. Hey, we're over at Rappo's. We are mounting these tires, getting the sealant in and everything so that these can go onto the bike. So this is laying in the driveway right now just to kind of heat the tire up. The bead on these tires are pretty stiff. So through this one, we actually worked on the first one just to kind of see how the process was going to go because we've never used these tires before. So just warming this tire up, and then we're going to go ahead and get the bead set, and then we will add the sealant. So the process here, which you'll see in a second, is going to be tire on, we'll set the bead without any sealant in, pull the valve out, and then we'll put sealant in, re-air it up, and we should be good to go. Okay, so you always want to line up the tire lettering with the valve stem. That's just the traditional way to do it. So we've got that set, and then we're going to go on and try to work this all the way over the rim.
Oh yeah, this made a huge difference in the sound. Next time, just leave it in the back of your car. Very easy. And the way we're doing it is you don't want to pull this thing all the way in so it pinches, rips the tape inside. It's about right there, and now push the rest back on. I think we got it. There we go. All right, I'll let you start on your side. I'll finish your other one up.
So I'm going to pull the valve stem or the core out, and then we'll take it up over to the compressor and set the bead. Put it forward. That forward.
Over to the filling station. There's enough left in that.
So we do that to set the bead before the sealant's in there. That way we get way less mess. We don't have an unset bead and sealant going all over the place when we're trying to pull that bead over the top of the rim. What are we putting, like 4 ounces?
Mm-hmm.
They recommend 3 to 4 ounces on a 27.5 and 29-inch tires. So we ride a lot of rocks, so I tend to go on. We always go the full 4 ounces. Usually it's just more peace of mind.
Soaked with wax in it. Best ever. E13 tire cleaner. Now.
There we go. 2 wheels fully built, ready to go. After all that work, guys, now I've got her back in the garage. I went ahead and threw the wheels onto the frame, and we've basically got a rolling chassis here now. So you can see those beautiful Project 321 hubs, sticky fresh E13 tires. Yeah, it's pretty exciting to get it to this point and actually have it kind of look a little bit like a bike here. You definitely get more of a feel for what this thing's gonna look like. So that's gonna wrap it up for the wheel building / assembly video. Thank you for hanging out. Please hit the subscribe button. Please like the video and share it if you've got friends that ride and love bikes. And we'll see you on the next one when we really start putting this thing together and coming down the home stretch here. Thanks for watching.